About 150 union members rallied outside the North Adams Regional Hospital while negotiators and executives were inside trying to hammer out an 11th hour contract in hopes of preventing a strike. SEIU Local 1199 represents about 175 workers in the hospital, and the union bussed in supporters from Boston, the Cape, and Springfield to show support. On the street, union negotiator Veronica Turner rallied the troops.
Uniontown through and through!
Their proposal is to have a flexible schedule. I can cancel your schedule. This week you might work 24 hours, next week you might work 16 hours, next week you might work 40 hours. That's no way to make sure that this community and this hospital survives.
Turner came in from SEIU's Boston office to help with negotiations. She was joined by Debbie Pavlovsky, who's worked at NARH for 23 years. She says the last year or so has been a whole different ballgame.
And since this management come in, it's a very scary feeling in there. You walk, you're watching to see if somebody's listening to you. They're there all around. It's a whole different atmosphere in this hospital with this management.
All of the union members were wearing SEIU's color purple as they held picket signs and chanted up and down the block. SEIU Local 1199 Executive Vice President Mike Fatal stepped out from his all-day negotiation to greet the crowd. He says management's demands are outlandish by industry standards.
We've never seen an employer come to the table in this very difficult times, but with a list of 108 proposals like this. This really marks them as the outlier in terms of extreme and aggressive management behavior.
Union members say they're being asked to give up maternity leave benefits and to be put on a completely flexible schedule. Again, here's Fatal.
Literally, the proposal is that any and all job classifications in the bargaining unit or outside the bargaining unit can be combined, changed, altered. Somebody could be in the bargaining unit today, outside the bargaining unit tomorrow, vice versa. It's this sort of topsy-turvy where literally there wouldn't be a contract would be meaningless.
Fatal says they've offered to hold salary increases to 1%, which beats the administration's demands of less than 2%, as well as some overtime reductions. To put this in perspective, the hospital is trying to save money. CEO Rick Palmisano says between bad portfolio returns on Wall Street and reduced reimbursements, they're short over $8 million. Palmisano says North Adams has some factors that exacerbate the situation.
The largest number of elderly patients in all of Massachusetts, and it's the third poorest community in all of Massachusetts. That means that the bulk of our payments come in from Medicare and Medicaid. And both of those payers, on average, reimburse at less than it costs to care for that individual. In our case, it's 80 cents for every dollar we spend.
Palmisano says a study done by Yankee Health found that North Adams workers get paid the second most in the state when compared with other small hospitals. On top of pushing the union to make concessions, they're looking to partner with a larger health group to offset the debt. Palmisano says he's been advised by the legal team not to discuss terms outside of the negotiating room, but says one flagrant flaw in the contract allows retiring workers to cash in all of their sick time upon retirement.
When you come to work, you get paid for your work. If you can't work because you're ill, we have a benefit called sick time. But to get paid for your sick time after you've also been paid for your work doesn't make sense.
A union spokesperson says the management walked out of negotiations at 6:15 Tuesday night. The union has already gotten permission to strike, and they've set a November 30th deadline for contract negotiations. If nothing moves by then, the union will take a strike vote, which is likely to pass, and a full-on strike will take place 10 days after the vote. Charlie Dietz, WAMC News.